Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the host of this channel, and in the past year, I've been focusing on building my online coaching business, and I want to give here a true reflection of my story because there is a lot of bullshit online of people who want to sell you something, and I want to give my authentic share. So I'm going to share with you 6 things that I've been doing to get some results, but not the results I expected and that I shared about 1 year ago when I started. I'm honest about it. And regarding my background, I have some experience in coaching, MLMs, growing startups, and I've been in the online game for about 5 and 6 years with my podcast. But it's really 1 year ago that I started to think, okay, I'm going to go all in on developing an online coaching business. So that's my experience sharing with you with no bullshit. Regarding the results I've gotten so far, I got to work with a few one-on-one clients in different areas. I'll cover that. And I have plans to go on group coaching, but I'm also taking my time. I'm definitely behind on the targets I set myself in January. I think I said $5,000 a month after 6 months. I'm not there, but growing my high ticket coaching one-on-one. And I'll share with you a little bit about the journey and why it's taking longer than I planned, but at the same time, why it still feels good. So the 6 things I've been doing and learning through this past year growing my online coaching business. Number 1 is to slow down to find my coaching Ikigai. What do I mean by that? You're probably familiar with the concept of Ikigai. It's a framework to find your purpose that includes what you love doing, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you can get paid for. And I have applied that framework to coaching. And I've really tried to slow down to find something that I can do for a long term and not just think short term. So to tell you, when I started coaching a year ago, I was really passionate about coaching people to be more fit, more healthy, on a raw vegan diet. It's been a passion of mine too for the past 3 years. And I started having calls with people. I started having a couple of one-on-one clients, and there's one I'm still working with. He got great results. It was around losing weight. He's lost the weight he wanted. Amazing. And so this was kind of successful, but while doing it, I realized that it was not my Ikigai. It was not my passion, especially with my coach who worked on helping people lose weight. From a rational perspective, it made sense. Eating a raw vegan diet, you lose weight very easily. There's so many people who need to lose weight, but it just wasn't ticking the what I love box. So then I moved to helping light workers find their purpose, because what I realized working on health is I was really passionate about helping people, especially if they wanted to have more impact later, like becoming a coach or growing a YouTube channel on that topic. So I thought to myself, I'm going to broaden the range of interest and I'm going to narrow it down to the light workers and leaders of the new earth. I've done that. It's been really interesting helping people find their purpose, have more consistency in pursuing their goals. And through that journey, I also got inquiries from people on helping them starting their podcast. And that's how my coaching in the past year evolved from health coaching to fat loss to more general helping light leaders, light workers, to now helping these people start a podcast. I'm not exactly sure yet if I also extend it to starting a YouTube channel or working more broadly on a personal brand, but that's the direction it's been taking and it feels really good. It feels like my Ikigai, where I'm doing something I'm passionate about. I've had a podcast for over 5 years, guys. That's a good sign. I'm good at it. And the world definitely needs more of those light leaders speaking their voice. And that's something I totally can get paid for. So my learning here is, even though everything can be easier once you're niched down, you want to be authentic. You want to do something that really lights you up. And in my case, that meant pausing, slowing down, and changing my niche. Because I believe if I kept going in the health and the fat loss niche, Today, I would probably be making a little more money because I would use the momentum that I had already created. And every time I change niche, I kind of go back to recreate those foundations. However, if I think 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if I can't stay passionate about it, it's not going to work really well. That's why I was very intentional about pausing, slowing down, and making sure the niche I choose is something I can stay consistent with over years and years, and I can build an empire in that area. It was especially difficult because I know some people, even if they love me and it's my family, can be a little bit skeptical about what I'm doing, and especially changing topics and jobs and interests a lot. For example, in the last bull run, I had pretty profitable online crypto courses that are now made available for free on Udemy. You can search Alex Lambert Udemy and you will find those courses. And so going from crypto to then the health to then the podcasting, some people around me can be skeptical, think I'm always changing, and they're partially right, but I really want to find something I'm passionate about in the long term. Podcasting has definitely been the one thing that's been standing the test of time. Now going to point number 2, which is also around slowing down, but this time to find a product market fit. So now, for example, great, I know I want to build my coaching business around podcasting and helping light workers and leaders of the new us build their own podcast. But even in that niche, there is a lot that can be discovered. For example, are my potential clients already having a podcast and they want to make it better? Or are they brand new to starting it? Are the main challenges that they are scared to be seen online? Or is it just to get more visibility and learn how the YouTube algorithm works? Do they want to do mainly solo episodes like this one? Or do interviews and conversation with other guests? Do they do it more as a passion and a hobby? Or do they do it as a central piece of their business? And do they want those podcasts to give them new clients? So again, here I've slowed down and I'm working one-on-one with people through many calls. I've had about 30 light workers now that I've helped through one-off calls, and I have some that started working ongoing with me. And through that process of working one-on-one, I'm making a lot of adjustments every day to craft my offer rather than jumping straight into building an online course that actually doesn't meet the demand like some coaches tend to do. A third thing that I've been doing in this past year is to make sure that I stay balanced in my lifestyle, but also very focused. You see, I'm fully dedicated to my coaching business, and it's something that is very important in my life. It's a priority. It's one of my top priorities that I've expressed in my video in January when I set my intentions for 2024, and it's still there. I said no to a lot of community events, to also building my community on School for now, to a friend who's doing really well in a network marketing project that recycles plastic, to travel. So for example, now I'm in Germany and my partner wanted to go to Norway, which would be amazing, but it would take me away from working on my business. So I stayed focused on that and told her it wasn't aligned for me. At the moment, I've been surfing a little bit less. I've been saying no to some parties. Just want to be super honest here. When some people online say, oh, you barely have to work and you make those millions, good on them if they do, or you just meditate and manifest. But I believe in putting in the work, but of course, in staying balanced too. I still meditate most days. I still work out most days. I still put a lot of focus into my relationships overall and my romantic relationship, and in enjoying life in general, because I need that fulfillment. So in that way, I'm a little bit different than some of the more hustling advice on the internet. I can't be like William Brown, for example, that I've had on my podcast. He's doing well. He's awesome. Lives in Dubai, really focused on work. He put his health and relationship aside while doing it. That's just not my way. I have a lot of respect for that. Same with for the likes of like Sam Ovens, for example, who's a genius. But to me, keeping my mental health, physical health, and relationships and enjoyment of life while I'm building this is really important. So really finding that balance for me between being focused and showing up and staying balanced. Staying balanced comes easily for me and my lifestyle. So for me, it's been more about being focused and saying no to people when it doesn't feel aligned. We know the saying, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And I've been applying that more and more and try not to be really opportunistic, but more focused on what I've decided to do. Now that ties into the fourth point, which is consistency and avoiding the shiny object syndrome. So there is a common curve when you start a project, which is at the beginning, you're very excited and you feel you're going to take over the world. And then challenges come, things get hard and you want to quit. And that's the moment when you need to keep going. But what a lot of people do at that moment, they go to the next shiny object. So if you look on the internet, you will find many gurus sharing about how you can make a lot of money overnight with trading, with coaching, with MLMs, with cryptos, with drop shipping, many ways. But the truth is, these can all work. What we need to find is what is aligned with you and then stick to it, because like anything, it can be hard at the beginning, but then you get the momentum and it takes off. And a lot of people switch from one to the other when it gets hard just before it actually starts taking off. Everything takes time. And even for someone like me who has experience in personal growth a lot, MLMs, my business school, growing startups, I know I need to make the effort now to show up and probably have less results that I would like to in the early days, but that this will create momentum and a compound effect that makes that a few years from now, it will be actually much easier. And a lot of the gurus that talk about how easy it is, they sometimes underestimate how much effort they put at the beginning with having less results. So that's where we need to have faith, keep going, and ultimately know that those seeds we are planting now will bear the fruits at a certain time. Now leading to number 5, what's been really important also is having the right coaches and mentors. I will share the difference between the two. A mentor is someone who has done what you're trying to do and is basically telling you how you can do the same as he did to have the same results. With a coach, they don't need to have done what you're doing. It's someone that can also follow you as things evolve and that can ask you simply powerful questions that get your own answers. And that's what I've loved with working with my coach, William, is that in some ways he's also a mentor because he's very qualified in online marketing and coaching himself. But through the whole journey, we started working together on me being a health coach, helping people lose weight and building the empire in that direction. And he actually at some point was like, hey, I don't think this is the most aligned for you. And so we went on a whole journey of rediscovering my coaching Ikigai, doing a lot of one-on-one calls, and now rebuilding around the podcast. And I'm really grateful that he took the time to slow down and to rethink the plan that we had versus someone who would be too attached to the plan we had originally and would want to get the results no matter what. So that's something I think is good, is to find someone who can also assist you with the evolution of your journey. It's life, things are going to change. And that's also what I do with my clients. So everyone who starts a podcast doesn't have to have the same format as the Lightleaders podcast. Maybe for some people, prioritizing Spotify over YouTube might be a good idea. If you're already very active and you love TikTok instead of Instagram, post your clips there. It's great. Some people might be very niched, others less niched. I've made the decision not to be too niched, but if someone has a really strong niche, amazing, we can just go there. So I'm playing not only as a mentor that is going to share some of the tools to be successful when you start a podcast, but also as a coach where I'm really looking into what is going to be right for you. So that's very different and that's very important. And that's also why I'm still doing one-on-one and doing bespoke programs for people. I've actually looked at quite a few online courses and purchased some on podcasting. And the general advice is good, but it can be very different according to what people want to create. And with the pace of technology and AI at the moment, they're easily out of date. On that topic, I'm doing every month now a free workshop on starting and growing a podcast that supports your business and brand without hiring a team, without spending hours editing and leveraging AI, the right tools and the right processes. So if you want to join that, look at the link in the description. I'll see you there, and I make it very interactive so I can answer the specific questions that you have to create the podcast that's authentic to you. And now number 6 is something that was taught to me by my coach, William, actually, which is to qualify for magic. When I work with someone as a coach, I make sure that I qualify for magic, meaning I make sure they are someone I'm really excited to work with and someone I can really help. I'm not rushing in taking clients. I make sure they are a right fit. I encourage every coach to do that because it's just so much nicer. And in the end, it will allow me to put my energy into the right people and ultimately to grow my business, I believe, much faster. But also looking back at me evolving and changing niches, now that I'm fully committed to the podcast niche, I'm actually very happy I didn't get too many clients in the other niche. So at the moment, I still have one client on the health niche and one client which I help to be structured with her work and to deliver on her goals. And it's a more general one. I love doing that, but I'm happy I didn't take on more clients because right now it gives me more space to work on this new podcast niche. So it's great that I don't feel overwhelmed with those past clients and past decisions. And the few clients I have are not in the podcast niche are people I really enjoy working with. I will add, I'm not totally closed to work one-on-one with people in different niches in general, as long as the excitement is really there and that it makes sense. Now I would like to finish with a conclusion, which is my plan moving forward. I'm still doing one-on-one calls for the podcast as I'm fine-tuning the product market fit, really understanding what do people want and how I position myself. I've been doing many free calls and now doing the free workshops that I talk about. And I'm in the process of helping my clients building amazing podcasts with the one-on-one coaching. Once this is done, I will most likely start to do group coaching, especially because it works really well with the podcast niche. I think going from one-on-one to group is quite natural in many areas, but you have to think, does my niche fit well the group? In terms of podcasting, having a group coaching is actually really good because the students can interview each other and learn from each other as they grow the podcast. When this is working really well, I hope soon, I will then create a community and online courses. But I take that in this order. I'm also in talks with potential VAs to hire to help for editing or post-production work and finding guests for my clients. So I have a clear picture of how I'm going to grow the business. But again, I need to be open to what life brings and how it will be fully aligned. So I hope that was helpful. Again, I'm really happy I could give you a very authentic view on how it's been for me to build an online coaching business in the past year. And I hope this gives a perspective that will be helpful, realistic, and help you to keep going, be consistent, and not feel too bad if you're not having the incredible results that are often portrayed online. Good luck, and if you have any questions, any comment that you'd like to share, please do so in the comment or reach out. Much love.